Like, subscribe, share, comment, all that good stuff. Help promote and rank up my channel. So we're going to be reviewing The Conjuring 3, The Devil Made Me Do It. Third entry into this series, and I actually had to go back and rewatch the first two movies because I don't gravitate towards these style of movies, these Exorcist, haunted house type films. I watched the first two Conjuring films once and then moved on. I thought they were solid, well-made movies. Moved on. Recently had to rewatch them in light of seeing this one, just to really prepare myself, familiarize myself with these characters, because enjoyment level for this movie will be pretty dependent on familiarity with Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga as the Warrens. The Warrens investigate a murder that may be linked to a demonic possession. If you've seen the trailer, it kind of sets this up as if it's going to be a court case, a kind of law and order thing, and it's not really like that at all. Let's talk about the positive.
I am not going before a grand jury and saying he was possessed by demons.
So this film expands upon the mythology, takes you out of the haunted house formula, and opens up a whole new world of potential things to explore within this already huge established franchise.
About time they accept the existence of the devil.
You okay there? Jesus.
Now, I haven't really watched the spin-offs. I have seen the main entries into this one, and I have gotten very familiar with these characters. Very likable characters portrayed by actors that make them just pop. Probably more than they would if they were portrayed by anybody else. It's a bit more out there on this one as a result of aiming bigger, as sequels always tend to. But it stays grounded with things like having to prove to the courts someone was possessed by a demon. Now, this is based on true events, but when Hollywood says that, they really take a lot of exaggerations and liberties to what's really there so they can actually make a well-rounded film. They make up a lot of the stuff just to really sow the seeds of things that weren't explained initially. As I talk about this film staying grounded in more ways than one, other than the whole having to prove this guy's was possessed by a demon. The love between Ed and Lorraine really shines in this, as their own personal safety is put at risk for different reasons. You can really see their care and concern for each other, and that's one of the best things about this film is these two characters, their relationship. Ed is at risk of a heart attack over just doing very minor things. That's a very human grounded thing in the midst of a supernatural otherworldly adventure that they go on. They go on this adventure to discover the truth behind this very strange case of possession, and it's an interesting exploration / investigation, introducing new characters. One particularly, the guy that ends up possessed, it really stands out. These actors can all hold their own. It is a great element of tension building in the right places when it comes to these characters' safety. Another solid, well-made film, one that opens the door to a lot of different things, and this one opens with a bang. So the negatives on this one, if you're expecting some kind of big grand conclusion, something that comes full circle, that really makes this thing a solid trilogy that wraps it up nicely and all that, that's not going to happen. That's not the case with this one. This case,
anyone, Arnie Johnson pled not guilty.
This kind of feels like your routine run-of-the-mill X-Files episode. It's interesting, it's intriguing, it's mysterious. It will hold your attention, but it lacks scares. And the scares it does try to creep up on you are really ineffective jump scares, largely ineffective jump scares.
Ed! You alright?
Can sometimes feel a bit all over the place as they go on this investigation that's a bit all over the place, trying to understand why it's a bit all over the place, trying to find the connective tissue that makes this make sense. There are some oddities in here. I question why Ed would be like, you have all this stuff in this room, why don't you... I mean, this exact line was said to him once, and he's saying it to a guy in here that was really underutilized. When it comes to John Noble playing this Castnir, or whatever his name is in here, John Noble, guy from Fringe, when it comes to him playing his particular character, he's not given a lot to work with. This film barely has him in it. That's unfortunate, because you can do a lot of great things for this actor. This actor is capable of greatness. I just feel like this character wasn't really used that well. And there's a couple of sequences that didn't really work for me. The tunnel sequence near the end didn't really work for me. The kind of big twist in this film wasn't so much of a big twist. It didn't really feel like a surprise. I just didn't think that it did not work that well when it came down to it. Score on this one, I'm going to give The Conjuring, the devil made me do it for money. Produce this sequel. No, I actually think it's a really solid, well-told story. It's just not much of a horror. I'm going to give this film a 6 out of 10. It's really, really likable. Mostly, I think, because you're revisiting characters that you're really familiar with, and it kind of feels like you're at home with these characters, and it does feel like a TV series, an episode of the X-Files or something like that. There's no big grand things that's really going to sew this all together and make it some kind of full circle trilogy that really blows your mind. If this is the send-off for these characters, it really is not a great one. But it is a good movie, a solid, well-made movie. And I don't feel like I wasted my time watching it in comparison to a lot of movies where I will go into and be like, can I please have my life back? Like, subscribe, share, comment, all that good stuff.